Alright, YouTube. This is Danny. Thank you, John. Alright, yeah. We're sitting here at McDonald's with John, Cody, Austin, and what's your name? I don't remember.
Joe.
Joe, hey, how's it going? I knew that. I'm an idiot. I've had some interest from Cody in my Dark World build here. It's nothing special. I'm sure you've seen this build a million times, but I mean, this is the one he wanted to see. So, we'll start out, of course, with the monsters. We got 3 Graphas. That's a given. Grapha is your guy you blow up cards with, front row, back row. He's a huge beater. He's easy to summon from the grave and all that. He's just, you gotta have him. Next we got Snow. 3 of those. Snow is, I can't stress her usefulness enough. You know, she searches any Dark World card, monster, magic, or trap if you run the traps. I don't, but you can use her and fetch Graphas, fetch your gate when you need them, fetch your dealings. If you don't need anything different on a turn, you can just pitch her with gates, draw your new card, and get another Snow with her effect. So you still have a Snow in hand, you just drew an extra card. Why not? And with gates out, she's a 2000 beater, which is very, very nice. Next, of course, we have 3 Brows. Brows your draw power, primarily. It's a good combo with gates. When you pitch him with gates, you draw 2. And, you know, he's good when you play Dark Smog. You banish a monster, draw a card. It's a really nice plus. Another normal summon guy that you can bounce for Grapha. And once I do get Tour guys from the battle packs now, they're Ixiable, if that's even a word, because they're level 3s.
We're making words.
Yeah. Yeah, why not? It's my profile. 1 Beige. Beige is a really, really useful card. I don't use more than 1 because I kind of have limited space in here. I want to keep it 40, and I want to keep my monsters fairly small because I have a lot of spells and traps that I need to run here. And because he's searchable with the 3 Snows in the deck, and with all the draw power I have here, I think 1 is really plenty. And because he's so easy to abuse by discarding with gates, and drag down, and dealings, and smog, etc., you can use him multiple times in a turn to get multiple Graphas out of the grave if you want. I think 1 is really plenty. And next is a placeholder until I get a couple of Tour guys, Trance Archfiend. Note of Fiend, Dark. He's a discard outlet. He also gets attack power when you discard. The cool thing I like about him, though, is when he goes to the grave after being destroyed, 1 you remove from play Dark monsters goes back to your hand. So, if you want to, you can even banish Grapha with your gates, and with no fear of him being gone, because as soon as Trance dies, he goes back to your hand. You know. Other thing about him is you gotta make sure you play him before you use Drag Down, otherwise he'll get pitched with Drag Down and no plus. You know, that's why I only run 2 and not 3. And on to the Magic. One of the most incredible Dark World build cards, Drag Down to the Grave. This is almost like Trap Dust Shoot in a lot of ways. Your opponent does draw a card after that, but I mean, you still get to see their hand. You still get to pull out whatever you think is going to be the most harmful to you. And if you are smart enough and set your back row so they don't hit your Dark Hole or Monster Born or whatever, and only leave yourself with Dark World monsters, then you're going to plus off of that, and you draw cards and all that. It's really just too good not to use, you know. Of course, there were 3 gates of Dark World. One of the few, like, actually useful field spells in the game right now. This just has so many uses. I mean, it makes Dark Worlds bigger. It makes Grapha's dick just that much bigger. Makes him 3000 even. This is another discard outlet every turn. It's draw power when you do discard. It's just a really, really nice card to have. Also, it's fetchable with Snow. So, I mean, you always have discard effects when you need them. Oh, and I gotta mention this. I found this out, like, after having played Dark Worlds for a long time. If you already have a Gates out, you can use that, pitch your monster, draw your card, whatever. If you're holding the second one, you can play another Gates and just kind of overwrite that one and have effect a second time. So it's very, very nice to do that. Got 3 Dark World dealings, more draw power, more discard power. A little more forgiving than Drag Down because you get to decide what you discard, your opponent doesn't. They do draw too, but I mean, unless they're a deck that can benefit from discards, it's probably going to hurt them more than it helps them.
Yeah, I usually am, but I just don't like
Next, I'm running 2 Upstart Goblin. My deck's an even 40, so 38 pretty much with these two. I like keeping the deck fairly small because there's certain cards I need to see ASAP. I want Grapha's ASAP. I want Drag Down ASAP. And the quicker I get those in my hand, the better. And they gain 1,000 life points, so what? I mean, Grapha will eat right through that in one attack, and then some. A lot of builds don't run this next card. They usually just side them. I do main at least 2 MSTs. Because it seems like at every YCS I go to, every regionals, every locals, whenever the first round's over, we go into the second round, people are always sliding in 2 Macrocosmos, 2 Shadow Mirror, 2 D-Fissure, all the stuff that can just stop Dark Worlds dead in their tracks. And, you know, some builds even main some of those nowadays because there's so much hate that, you know, Shadow Mirror can stop. So really, I just hated having to do the same thing every time. So I like having 2 when I need them. Normally you just nuke back row with Grapha, and then, you know, summon Grapha and blow the monsters up with that. But I like having the MSCs on hand. They're just too good not to have. Next, Card Destruction. I wish it wasn't limited because it tends to not show up often enough when it's actually useful. But if you have it like early and you have a lot of monsters in hand, it can be a win condition for you. You know, pitching 2 or 3 Graphas at a time, pitching 2 or 3 Snows or Brows at once, and your opponent's losing 4 or 5 cards out of their hand, it can be really devastating to them and really help you in the process. Allure of Darkness, staple, everything's dark. You gotta have it, more draw power. And, you know, more help with Trance here. Whatever you banish doesn't matter. You know, you play Trance, you get it back as soon as he dies. Foolish Burial, the pretty DT Foolish. Thank you again, Ogle. Foolish is another deck thinner. It's also a first turn Grapha. A first turn 3,000 beater is a lot of hate. That really sucks for your opponent. It's really good to have. And of course the goofy deck staples you gotta have. Dark Hole, Monsterborn, Heavy Storm, whatever. I'll comment on that. Not all Dark World builds run Heavy Storm, because it nukes your gates, it nukes your skill drains, it nukes your dark smogs. But honestly, as much removal as there is in the game right now, a lot of those things end up gone anyway by the time I have Heavy Storm, so it really isn't that big a deal to have it. It helps me a lot more than it's hurt so far. On to the traps.
Speed up.
I'm using Reckless Greed here. It's a good plus as long as you have gates to rely on, you know, just so it doesn't become a minus. So either have gates out, have Drag Down, have Dark World Dealings, have 2 of these in hand. As long as it's a plus to you, then it's gonna help you. 2 warnings. Another card not all builds run. I've run 2 or 3 builds that don't run warning, and it really hurts me a lot to not have them because I had nothing to stop Rabbit, nothing to stop Tour Guide, nothing to stop normal summons to stop those combos from going off. I need to have them. Skill drain my speed up here. We're getting close to time running out. Deck Devastation Virus. Situational. Skill drain's good against most things, not against things like, you know, E-Heroes or mirror matches. So if I have to, I side one out when those come up. Same with Deck Devi. It hurts a lot of decks, but there are some that it does nothing against. So sometimes these get switched out for whatever I need in the situation. And last 2 Torrentials. Makes it an even 40. Torrential at 2 is just way too good not to have. And as easy as Grapha is to resummon, you can just Torrential him all day long. As long as you're holding a Dark World monster, you can get him right back the next turn. And Torrential will hurt your opponent if they decide to overextend with all their extra summoning and all that. It's way too good not to have. I say that a lot, but it's no less true. So there you have it. There's my build. Comment if you must. I'm sure they welcome it. Thank you very much.